Hey guys, it's me again. So, congratulations on the game against Northeast. It was great. Super. So now I have some feedback for you. Coach asked me to make a few points. So I'm going to give you one theme, 4 principles, and then 3 specific behaviors that you can do something about. Here we go. The theme is it's the little things. Most people think it's the big things. It's the little things. All right, we'll come back to that. Principles. Ready? See a little, see a lot. See a lot, see nothing. Got that from Florida State football coach. See a little, see a lot, see nothing. We'll come back to that. It's not just the bricks. It's the mortar. The mortar is that stuff in between bricks that holds bricks together. Most people think it's the bricks. If the bricks don't have good mortar, forget about it. Ain't gonna work. The wall's gonna just crumble. 3rd principle, Indiana Jones. Get to that in a minute. 4th principle, the 20th player. Okay. So, let me talk about these principles just for a minute. The 20th player, let's start there. The idea is that most people don't know what it takes to win. Most people think they do, but most people don't. Your coach knows. The 20th player knows. Why the 20th player? Well, it's kind of like the idea is 19 players out of 20 think that this is what it takes. But the 20th player actually knows there's something else that it takes. And you have to know what that something else is, and then you have to be that 20th player. And I'm going to tell you what that something else is. Well, I'm not going to tell you all of it. It'd take too long, but I'm going to give you some ideas on how to be the 20th player here in just a minute. The Indiana Jones clip. You can't just throw a bunch of activity at the opponent and then stop and then have that activity not be meaningful. One thing I noticed was in the beginning of the Northeast game, you went all out after them, and look at the reward you got right away. They weren't ready for you. But the question is, were you ready to be you the whole game long? And my answer would be, if I was scouting you, would be no, you weren't. I'm not trying to be critical, but it's just a fact. And I'll give you some examples of why I say that in just a minute. In the Indiana Jones clip, which I'll send to your coach, you see that at the beginning of the clip, there's this guy that does all this activity, pop, 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 but then it really doesn't amount to anything, and then the guy dies. You can't be that dude that does all this activity, but then it doesn't amount to anything. You can't just be the team that comes out flying, gets an early lead, and then stops. This happened also in the Tarpon game. You stopped yourself in the Tarpon game, I thought, late in the game. And so you have to maintain this consistency throughout the game. It's easier said than done. And it's a kind of an esoteric concept, but there are specific, easy things that you can do to make that happen. Okay, it's not just the bricks, it's the mortar. The mortar are those little behaviors. Usually the number 10s of the world, and actually you guys have a number 10 on your team. It's a good player. Could take something from this lesson. I'm not picking on this person. Because this person is clearly an important player on your team. But he has a way that he can improve his game when his team doesn't have the ball. He's not the only one. I'm not picking on you, by the way, number 10. I see what you can do. I see how important you are to the team. The question you have to ask yourself, number 10, is, are you doing everything possible? Is there no need to improve because you're already the greatest player you can be? Or are there places you can improve? If your mentality is, no, 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 take a look at my number. I'm number 10. Don't you understand? I'm number 10. I don't need to. I'm the best player here. The best player wears number 10. I don't need to improve. Talk to those other dudes. Those other scrubs. When they get number 10, then you can leave them alone too. It's not about comparing you to your teammates. It's about comparing you to your potential. Are there things you can do to get better? And if you think the answer is no, stop listening. And you'll be one of those 19 kids that believe they know what it takes to win. And sometimes they do, but often they don't. But if you want to have an idea of what I think personally, not that I know, I'm a gym teacher, what do I know? But I have some ideas for you. I'm going to share them in a minute. See a little, see a lot, see nothing. A lot of times people think that winning is about some big idea. And it isn't. It's about a bunch of little ideas. And when players understand that and they understand their role and take what little thing they can do, and then they choose to carry that out for 80 minutes, that's the second part. They choose to carry that out for 80 minutes. Sometimes teams can get an idea. You're getting an idea. St. Pete High is getting an idea of what it takes to win, and you're showing it. But are you carrying it through for 80 minutes? That's the question. All right, and that's the question I would challenge you to work on. Okay, so let me say, so if you have a player who's out in the field, and that player understands that they have a particular job to do, like let's say closing down a ball or making a simple pass or just simply getting back on defense. That's a little thing. And if that player focuses on that little thing, and if all the players focus on that little thing, their little things, then it adds up to a big thing. But when each of the players is standing around, like you did at the end of the Tarpon game, by the way, there was too much standing around in that game. And then you got into little aren't I cute tricks to try to kill the clock. Mistake. Those aren't the things it takes. What it takes is doing the little things all game long without fail till the whistle blows. If each player does their little thing, understands what their little thing is, and consistently does it, then trust that the other players are going to do their little things. That's what it takes. That's what it's about. See a little, see a lot. If you see your little thing, then you see a lot about what it takes to win. If you see a lot, in other words, if you are trying to see everything, if you are trying for a shortcut, if you are trying for a trick, if you are trying to win the lottery by picking the right numbers and hope it all just comes working out for you, see a lot, you see nothing. The 20th kid sees a little. The first 19 kids try to see too much. Here are 3 behaviors that I would work on if I were you. I wrote them down. Hold on, let me turn my page here. 1 second. Okay, first, they're going to seem like the smallest little things. They might be the kind of things that your coach harps on, but check his resume. He knows what he's talking about. First, don't turn your back when you take your position in transition, especially on a restart, okay? So I'm going to set this up, okay, and show you what I mean by that. Okay, so now I'm an attacking player. I'm St. Pete High. I'm coming toward this goal. We're trying to get a goal. Boom, we lose possession. Watch. So now I turn my back, and then I take my position. I turn my back and I take my position. The minute you turn your back, you've lost track of the game. If I'm scouting you and I see any coach, Rob Woodard, any coach that knows what they're looking for, scouts you, and they see that players turn their back in transition, boom, there's the opening. And that is an indication of individual, not necessarily even laziness, okay? Because maybe the players just don't know. but it's a case of an individual lack of understanding of what it takes to win, lack of understanding of where goals come from. If you look at your first goal in the Northeast game, the only goal of the game, okay, you got down the field faster than them. It wasn't the prettiest goal in the world. It actually wasn't a pretty goal at all. But you know what the prettiest goal in the world is? Any goal that crosses the line. You're in the playoffs now, people. This is not about art. It's about results. If you get art out of it, great. But you got a goal based on results. But if you look at the Northeast players, you had the jump on them, okay? And if you look, you'll see a couple players that turned their back a little bit. You have to find them on the tape, but it's there. But you guys, and this is one place where I'm going to come back to you, Mr. Number 10. You turn your back when you take your position. It's almost like, okay, we lost the ball, and boom, now I'm out of the game. Now I don't know what's happening in this moment because I'm busy taking my position. Do this. It's a simple thing. Look, take your position by backpedaling and looking around. Boom. You might see something. You might see something. And imagine if everybody on the team takes their position backpedaling. And then one of those players sees something, but all the other players are going to see that he sees something because everybody's watching. That's where the openings are in the playoffs, in those little seams, in those little transitions, which kind of leads to that mortar comment. The mortar is what keeps the bricks together, okay? If the mortar is weak, the bricks fall down. Turning your back on the play is like weak mortar, okay? All right, let me tell you the second behavior I saw. Aircraft carrier turns. Okay, watch. So now, and I'm talking about transition turns, okay? So now our team is going, we're attacking, we lose the ball, okay? Watch how I turn to get back into play. Ready? We lose the ball, ready? So I made two fundamental mistakes. I made an aircraft carrier turn, an aircraft carrier. Did you ever see an aircraft carrier try to turn sharp in water? It can't do it. It needs a mile to turn around. You've got to turn like you're on a jet ski. Okay, so I made an aircraft carrier turn, and in the process, I turned my back on the ball. Watch again. Here we go, I'm number 10, I've got the great, I'm not picking on you, number 10, understand, it could be any of you guys, any of you attacking players. I've got it all, I got what it takes, I'm the brick they need. Oh, we lost the ball, okay, I'll just wait for the next time when I can be effective on this team. Because I can only be effective when I have the ball. Why? Because I'm that one. You know, don't you see 19 other people agree with me? That 20th person over there, don't listen to him. 19 is bigger than one, we all know. What does that kid know over there? But if you make sharp turns, okay. So now, you lose the ball, plant your foot, come back, look over your shoulder, never take your eye off the play. You plant your foot, look, oh, then you can then suddenly an opportunity can come up again. Because why? You've planted your foot, you've taken a sharp turn, you keep your eye on the play, boom, then you can intercept the ball. Then you can take advantage of the next mistake. When is the next mistake coming? I don't know. Neither do you. But it's coming because we know it's coming, because we know mistakes are part of the game. But if you take your eye off the play, you may miss it when it happens. Okay, third thing. You've got to do proper closing in every part of the field, okay? And again, I'm not gonna pick on poor number 10. I'm gonna just pick a couple of you other good attacking players. Okay, look. I'm closing you down, right? I come in, my hips are square, my body is upright, and I just come in like this. This is really so easy. It's like imagine you're doing a dribbling drill and you have like flags and you're just dribbling in and out of flags. You're a flag here. People are just going to dribble in and out of you. But imagine you now you get low. You're sideways on and you're pushing the player onto the foot that you know is not their strong foot. because you've been paying attention, because you know it's the little things. You've been making mental notes about the players you're playing against. Now, your knees are bent, so if you have to start, change direction, suddenly, boom, you can go, instead of standing like this. Think about it. If you ever watch the Olympic 100-meter finals, they start like this. Why? Because their knees are bent. Nobody stands at the starting line like this. Why? Because you can't get started fast this way. Sideways on, knees bent, pushing the player one way or the other, or however your coach teaches you how to do this. He may teach you how to do it a different way. Whatever the little details are of how your coach teaches how to close down, do it consistently. Your front foot's available for a tackle without you losing your position. You tackle with your back foot, boom, you're beaten if you miss it. Front foot's available, you can still keep your position, your knees are bent, you can change direction suddenly. Let me tell you something. If you do this consistently, you will break down the opponent. The opponent will have to be perfect to beat you, or you'll have to make enough mistakes. Now, you're not going to do it perfectly. Nobody's going to do this perfectly. Nobody's going to make perfect close downs for the entire game. But you guys go to St. Pete High. That's an IB school, right? Theoretically, you guys are pretty smart. If you get a 95 on a paper, that's an A. But that means you got 5% wrong. But you still got an A. There's room for mistakes. There's a difference between an A performance and perfection. An A performance, you can have a couple of mistakes, but you can't have consistent mistakes. And you can't have mistakes where you don't even know that you're making them. Aircraft carrier turns, turning your back on the ball, closing like a flag. What if you don't even know you're doing that? That's like you have a multiple choice test, and the answers are A, B, C, D. But you think, oh, it's just some letter, and you answer P, Q, A. Oh, I got that one right, luckily. Z. I don't know what's wrong. I'm answering with letters, but you're not even understanding that those other letters don't matter. There are key letters you have to use, A, B, C, D. And if you choose one of those, and if you read the question, and if you studied, it greatly increases your chances of doing well on a test. So, to finish off this little thing, 3 specific behaviors that I would take, individual things you can do, even if your teammates don't, that you can do. Take your position early, don't turn your back. Okay? Eliminate aircraft carrier turns and close properly in every part of the field. If you do those things, okay, then let's come back to the big principles and see how they play in. It's the little things. That's how I started this. Those are little things that can lead to the big thing that everybody wants, which is winning the next game. See a little, see a lot. See a lot, see nothing. If you see your individual little thing that you can do each play, not what you can do 5 minutes from now, not what you did 5 minutes ago, not what the other player is doing, but what you can do, and just do it. And just do it consistently as you can. That's the difference. That's the secret. People think winning a state championship is some big old exciting, it's not. It's actually not. You look at the old Bloomingdale teams. I mean, they did, like I said, they had good players, but it was about a consistency. Right to the final whistle, by the way. Not just the Indiana Jones clip that I'm going to show you, which is a whole bunch of activity, and then suddenly the guy's dead. It's not just the bricks, it's the mortar. 19 people out of 20 think it's the bricks. The individual bricks are like the individual players. The mortar is like their behaviors on the field and their behaviors in relation to each other. Those behaviors are what hold the bricks together. Okay, so 19 people out of 20 thinks it's the bricks. Oh, we got the right bricks, we're going to win. The 20th person understands that the bricks can be shut down with certain behaviors. The 20th person understands that it's not just the bricks. You need bricks. And by the way, you guys have the bricks. You do. You don't need to have the best bricks, by the way. You don't need to have the best bricks. You just have to have bricks that are good enough. Okay? They just have to be good enough. They have to be good enough to win. You have players that are good enough to win. So if you could measure players on some sort of a numerical scale, with the highest being 200, let's say, as long as you got players that score, let's say, 120 or 130, you're fine. Then let's say you got a whole bunch of players that score 130 or 40, and you're playing a team with a whole bunch of players that score 195. But those 195, they don't understand the little things. They take aircraft carrier turns and all kinds of little other things. The other team, the 120-30 team, can win. This is why Bloomingdale won. This is why our teams won state championships against better teams, because of understanding these little things and doing them all the way to the end of the game. And, I should have said this earlier, not just the starters, but players coming off the bench, participating in their own way, participating and understanding what the coach wants. Understanding what little thing does this coach want from me? Not what is my vision of what soccer is going to look like for me today, but where do I fit into the plan as designed by the coach? What is needed from me? You have that. You are going to be one, like I said last time, one tough team to beat. The 20th player, 19 people out of 20 think they know what it takes. 19 coaches out of 20 think they know what it takes, by the way. But why don't they all win? A secret is that winning, the secret to winning is, I call it hiding in plain sight. It's simple. It's not a secret. It's little things. It's the little things. All right. That's what I got for you today. I hope this helps. Adios, amigos.